Hi, this is Mighty Faith. Thank you for coming with me on my journey. I am not an advisor, I am not a dietitian or a counselor, but you're coming with me in my journey, and I want to thank you for that. I know it's been a minute. I wanted to just come out and say I want to encourage you that whatever you decide on doing, as in any goals or any I just want to say that you got to go in with an open mind, and you got to be pretty much sick and tired, right? So um I had decided on having a VSG back 4 years ago, and I was pretty much sick and tired. And the reason why I'm saying that I was sick and tired was because I had no other options or resolutions because of me being really sick, you know. So, but sometimes you get to a point where you're like, hey, I need to do something, right? And so I want to tell you that when you make up, you come into that awareness, then you start really realizing that, okay, I'm getting there. I know that what I've done in the past wasn't working, but I need to do something else. And so I had to make decisions and choices for my own self, for my own actions. And that's what I'm trying to get at. When you make a decision, it's pretty much you make a decision and there's no wavering whatsoever. You have no wavering. And when you make it, that's it. There's like no going back, no retracking, no backpedaling, no, you're not, oh, should I, could I, would I? There's nothing like that. It's like, I need to get this done. I need to do this. And so that's where I was at in a moment in the part of my life, because my health was getting worse. And I tried everything and it didn't work. So I needed help. I needed help because I was really sick. And so a lot of people, they could do it, and I applaud you. And and then some got diet, everybody's got a dietitian, or they got a specialist, or well, I needed to have my surgery done. Okay. And so I needed a surgery, and the VSG was the most effective. The VSG was the most effective tool formula for me. That's what worked for Mighty Faith. Okay. And so maybe some other things work for everybody else, and that's great. But for me, it worked fabulous. And I'm on my 4 year journey, and you're with me in my journey. So it's been wonderful. Um, there's a lot of trials and error, I mean, it's a live and learn. I believe that life is, you got to live, you got to learn, you got to make errors. So it was, I had went with an open mind, and the tools, it's a tool. And so I went with the fact that I was open to that. I said, okay, so this is a tool. This is something that's going to help me to be more successful. But I had to really search my soul and my mind and my emotions and my affections. And I had to come in reality that I couldn't have a love affair with food, because I love food. And so I had to learn how to put the food in perspective place. And I had to learn that I had to make these decisions in order for me to become effective, in order for me to be, to be able to have an effective result. So I had to be real about stuff, and I had to soul search, and boy, do I love to eat. I did. And I love not just to eat, it's the quality of type of food. I have a very, my palate is very, it likes a lot of different kind of foods. I love sushi. I love Indian food. I love Guyanese. I love Vietnamese. I love Thai. I love every type of food. And so I had to come to terms with that. I had to learn that once I've had this VSG done, there were things that I had to change in my eating and in my decisions. And so I had to make a decision about soda. So a lot of people don't realize, but yeah, you can't sit there and, okay, I can't talk about no one else. I'm talking about myself. I'm not an advisor. I'm not a professional. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a dietitian. You're coming with me with Mighty Faith's journey. So I had to be realistic, and realize that I couldn't do all those things. So that being said, you got to know what your boundaries are. And that's what you have to learn how to master. And you have to learn to master those very things, the boundaries. What's the do's, the don'ts? I know. And I had to learn that about myself. I had to learn that food is not for comfort, it's for fuel, it's for to survive. Food, you can't be an emotional eater. Well, and then I grew up in a home where we couldn't waste food. And so that was another thing that I dealt with the fact that I had to finish everything in my plate as a child. And my mom used to stack up mountains. There were mountains. They were like the Mount Everest is high. And so I had to eat it. Because I couldn't tell my mother no. So I had to change that in here. I had to change that. And so I had to learn that it's okay not to finish everything on my food, on my plate. It's okay not to finish everything. It's okay to push the plate aside. And that's what I do now. And I got the victory over that. So I want to encourage you, it's the simplicity things in life that you can become. You can be successful and overcoming those simplicities, the very things that are simple yet powerful. So I want to encourage you that you can do, once you make a decision and you make that decision, you got to follow it all through. You got this. Don't talk about it. Just be about it. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to have the surgery. I got to be obedient. I got to follow my doctors, my diet. I did everything. And because I listened to the doctors, I have, and through the grace of God, which I thank God, I am very successful in this journey. And I thank God. I thank God for that. I thank God for my doctors. I thank God for all my doctors, everyone, the dietitian, the nutrition, every single body. I thank God, because when you listen to your doctors and you listen to the professionals and they advise you, realize that that's what they studied. That's their love. That's their passion. So I'm grateful that I did that, because I didn't, I followed everything, the liquid, the diet, everything. And so I'm just grateful that I did that. I still continuously do it's like you got to, eat, and then 30 minutes. I still do that. I'm 4 years out. I know a lot of people that eat and drink at the same time now. I don't do it. I don't. I don't drink soda pop. And that was my biggest thing, soda pop. And I don't finish everything on my plate. That's an accomplishment. To someone, that might not be nothing. But to me, that is amazing, because I never realized that I could say no, that I could push it. And during the VSG and the tools that they've given me, it's made me to be able to look at food at a different way and come at it at a different angle. And so I want to thank you for coming. I want to encourage you that whatever you decide, you can accomplish anything, but you got to be true and fair to yourself first. And once you learn to be true and fair to yourself, then you will be okay. You're going to be okay in the decisions that you make, taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. And just remember, whatever you do, if you put God in it, and everything you do, God will bless you. God bless you and be blessed. And thank you for coming in my journey. Ciao.